And one by one, they all just start to fall down. Who am I talking about? What am I talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I got to give credit to all of you, any person out there. I know you're watching this like hiding behind a curtain in your room right now. I don't blame you. Throughout the first part of this season, during the fake hockey era, if there were any nights that I was struggling, people threw parties in the comments section. They were saying anything and everything because they knew it was only a matter of time before they heard Dad's car pulling into the driveway. And what did they do? They all scurried up to their bedroom and they hid under the covers and they heard the keys jingling in the door. And then that angry dad who just worked a double was coming up those stairs and they heard the belt coming off, and that's exactly what's happened. You got belted in your ass by me, and it couldn't have happened any better last night. Last week, unbelievable week, somehow followed up by an even more unbelievable Monday. We hit that ruckus over Tavares 2+ points with a Horvat and Isles +1 over +1,000 same game parlay. I told you the Avalanche, they're going to make you sweat a little bit. It's going to be a wild one. That's exactly what it was. And even the little extra Buffalo Sabres. One of the nemesis, one of the teams who will screw you. Maybe I'll even press my luck with those teams who like to screw you, because I mentioned the Big Five. What if I told you, yeah, ESPN documentary style, what if I told you I'm going to be involving myself in games with a few of the screw job team, more than one. Yeah, we got more than one appearing on this slate tonight. So these last 2 weeks, using OddsShopper Premium has been unbelievable for us. You got to give them credit. I don't know who they got working over at Area 51, but it is only a matter of time before they figure out that spaceship nonsense, because they are cleaning up on the bets that we're giving out here. Just think back to last week. Those overs earlier in the week, which allowed us to build those ruckus same game parlays. The Islanders -1.5 against Columbus. Then last night they gave us the Islanders +1.5. It's unbelievable. This is not even me selling. This is a guy who's benefiting. But I will say, as you can see, you can guide your picks using some of the best algorithm plays. And if I were you, I had them put the link in the description of this video. You could subscribe to OddsShopper Premium by clicking on the link, and you can have access to the same Area 51 bunkers that I do. And one that we got tonight, we're going to do the same type of thing, and you guys are going to love this one. And by the way, how about everybody, those same people who are hiding under their covers, like coming at me about Edmonton earlier in the year? I was like, no, Edmonton, they're a really good team. They have a very high ceiling. And then what? Because they start out early. Oh my God, Edmonton. And now, if I ever happen to pick, how could you? I was the one who told you Edmonton had a high ceiling. You never had your car. Now, what, you're trying to get into my car, the one that I told you about earlier in the year? No, you're not getting in my front seat. I'll let you sit in the back. But the Edmonton Oilers, -1.5. You don't see this from OddsShopper Premium too much with a minus. A -1.5 for minus money usually is something to me. I'm like, they're never, but they actually like that. They think you're getting a good price at a minus with the Edmonton Oilers. Now, what I'm going to do, remember I showed you that ticket last week, Kempe 2+ points with the Kings -1.5. Well, let's do something like that again. You can do this at Bet Rivers, like I told you about yesterday, where you can take any player on the Oilers. Now, the Oilers are a team that many times have a couple guys listed at 1.5 points, but we can take one of those secondary players who are still on that top power play to register 2 points with that -1.5 for Edmonton to get a really good price on the Oilers, because when they're playing the Blackhawks at home, it ain't going to be easy to get good prices. But these Edmonton Oilers are on a great winning streak. They've been staying at home, so it's not like, traveling's an issue. They're well rested after that mini break and then had a couple of games. They're fully into the groove. I support the -1.5. And if we go over to Bet Rivers, let's do -1.5. Let's do Zach Hyman over 1.5 points. So Zach Hyman to register 2+ points and the Edmonton Oilers -1.5. Now, I will give you full freedom to take Nugent Hopkins or even Evan Bouchard, because when that power play is clicking, you guys remember this from last year, they broke the record for best power play of all time. And Bouchard's the one distributing to his left to McDavid and his right to Draisaitl. He gets those free assists, which are always a great thing. I'll give you full discretion. If you like to go one way or you want to go to another, you know, when I play the Mega Millions, I refuse to let a gas station print me out a bunch of numbers. I need my little imprint on it. So if you guys want to go your own way, sniff your own way, like I told you last week, you can go with any one of those 3 players. But if you take the 2+ points on them, that's how you can get yourself a good price on the Oilers. And if you go do that and you sign up over at Bet Rivers, your first bet's going to be risk-free up to like $500 in some states. Some states it's $100. The good news is if you click the link in the description of this video, it will take you there and it will show you how much your first bet is risk-free. But anybody who did that yesterday is feeling a lot better about themselves, because we had in that ruckus over Tavares 2-point same game parlay. Maybe this Edmonton one will also go our own way. That's not the only game you can take advantage of on Bet Rivers. We got the Vegas Golden Knights. I made a promise to you guys earlier in the year. I'm not going to give you these massive minus bets, because from what I gather and from the tickets I see, it seems like all of you are down to your last $7. So seeing a -180 is not really on your agenda. You want plus money, and many smart people are going to say, you shouldn't be doing this. This is not a winning way long term. I've tried telling you that in the past. I'm just at a point where if the dogs want steak, I'm going to give them steak, because the last I checked, the number on this video is the number I'm concerned about. So if you go out, you guys want some steak in the woods over a fireplace, I'm going to put it out there for you, but don't get angry if one of those Wachutus throws a spear at you. So the Vegas Golden Knights, they're at home against the Calgary Flames. And now, actually, this price is not as bad as I thought at all. Why is Vegas only like a -175, -180 against a Calgary team who played last night in Colorado, then has to go to Vegas, and is probably going to look forward to maybe going out after the game? This is also a team with a couple guys who are 30+ like Kadri and Huberdeau on there. They don't have Markstrom. Man, this is a good spot for Vegas. This is one you could also on Bet Rivers. You don't have to take a -1.5. That's the good news with that price. We can take Vegas to win and 2+ points for Marchessault, who has been tearing it up recently. Actually, you can do Marchessault. I want to go with Stevenson, who was ice cold, then woke up in a big way in Dallas and continued that last game. Stevenson's got the hot stick. I don't mind if you want to go up with Marchessault. I'm going to go Vegas to win. I like Chandler Stevenson, 2+ points in that one. Those are 2 great games that you can go over to Bet Rivers and take advantage of that. And I know, by the way, some sports books offer this, but in the U.S., there's only a few of them, and they're not available in the same game parlays. So I'm trying to help that random guy in a town in Ohio I'll never be in. Okay? Relax. Now, I'll talk about some of those teams. I mentioned the Big Five, the ones who could screw you any night of the week, and I danced with one of them last night. I went in there and I did a little dance with Buffalo, and I came out on the right side. We're going to do that once again. I'm going with Pittsburgh at home. Yeah, Pittsburgh is one of the 5 who can screw you. They're in desperate need of a win. I think a little bit of home cooking will do them well here. And this game is no different than what I just said about Calgary. This is something you see from me all the time. Every once in a while, it won't work out for us. In the long run, I really like it, and that is betting against a team who played the previous night and then has to travel. So you got Buffalo, who beat Arizona. Arizona then has to fly to Pittsburgh, who's in desperate need of a win, just waiting for them to get there. You gotta like Pittsburgh. I'm just going to bet against the team who played last night and has to travel. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, which is why I'm taking the Rangers to beat Toronto. Toronto was trailing by 2 in the 3rd period against the New York Islanders. Oh, actually, it might have been 1. No, it was 1, but they were trailing by 2. When you have to come back in a game Make no mistake about it, you have to exert more energy. It's harder to come back in a game than just sitting back and playing defense where you can kind of sit back and react to things. Having to go dig for a comeback really uses many of your resources. Now, we saw that with the Kings on Saturday. They played against the Islanders. The Islanders fought their way back. The Kings lost in overtime. Then they went to the arrested Rangers on Sunday, and they lost pretty handily. I'm looking for something similar. Toronto, they got a point out of last night, and they won a couple games before that. Now you got this Rangers team who's sitting there waiting for them. Toronto just played an overtime game that they had to come back in. I'm going to bank that in the second half of this next game, they're not going to have as much juice that would be necessary to come back once again if the Rangers can go up on them. And we know that we saw Samsonov last night. Woll is injured, and is their third goalie like Martin Jones? Are we getting the Martin Jones experience? Oh, wow. Everyone remembers how that one was when he was in San Jose. But I like the Rangers here in a home game against Toronto. Then the last team who can absolutely screw you, they probably screwed you when you bet on the Rangers against them last week. We didn't give that. We only gave the ruckus over in that one. This is the Ottawa Senators. And this is another opportunity for you guys to curse at the screen like I wasn't right about the Avalanche and like I wasn't right about the Oilers being a good team this year. The Carolina Hurricanes, mark my words, they are the Avalanche of this year. We are not even a third of the way through the year. Mark my words, they will be first or second in the Metro when it's all said and done. Why? Because they care. They don't need to be motivated. They had a big players-only meeting. That's how I know a team gives a shit and is absolutely going to turn it around. You think the Islanders have ever held a players-only meeting? Never once heard about it. But these Canes have Stanley Cup aspirations. They're going into Ottawa. They desperately need a win. They had that players-only meeting, and unless Ottawa wants to pull one of the random screw jobs, I'm going with Carolina. So yeah, danced with the screw job squad last night, came out on the right side, and now I'm going to dance with two of them again tonight. I'm taking one screw you team in the Penguins and betting against one screw you team in the Sens. I'm taking Carolina on the road at Ottawa, and that is what I have for you here on a Tuesday. Going to be pretty tough to top that Monday, don't you think? But you never know. When the nasal cavity is clean and I could really have some deep sniffs, I could find my way home. If you left me in a parking lot, you can blindfold me and I'll sniff my way to that back door like the dog you tried to get rid of in the middle of the woods. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Make sure you're subscribed here to this Odd Shopper channel. Like this video for me. Comment on this video for me. Drive the engagement up. We're still #1 in the rankings pretty much on a daily basis. So if you're some random new guy who found this channel in the last 7 or 8 days, you're a pretty happy guy. Happy to have you. And just so you and everybody else knows, in the link down below, in the description of this video down below, you're going to see 2 links. 1, to sign up for Bet Rivers, and you can access that risk-free bet. 2, for the Area 51 Bunkers and Odd Shopper Premium, where you, like me, can take one of the best NHL plays and build around it, which we've successfully done for these last 2 weeks. I'll be back with you tomorrow to talk my favorite Wednesday NHL sniffs. I'll see you then.